Hey, Phoenix, what is up? September 19th, I'm going to be there. I love you guys. I love Phoenix. You know why? Because when I'm at Stand Up Live, September 19th, I know it's going to be full. That's why, Phoenix, you are better than other towns. Because when I get to your town, you fill it up. Stand Up Live, come see me, Jay Mohr, at Stand Up Live, September 19th. All my shows are meet and greets. I'll be selling more of your t-shirts, Mohr Stories podcast t-shirts. I'll shake your hand. We'll have a photo. We'll hug. You want to hug? You want to make a pyramid? We can make a pyramid. I'll be on the bottom. I don't care. Come see me do stand-up comedy, Phoenix, September 19th, 20th, I think 21st. Whatever. Just get your tickets. Fill it up. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know that you're going. At JayMohr37. Now enjoy this free podcast.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
If you want a battle, it's either that you will or you won't. You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
How many interviews have you done in the last 72 hours?
God, 72.
It's Anthony, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I would say 72 hasn't been that bad. It was,
Like
it was mostly
2 weeks.
last 2 weeks. 50.
I didn't even know who you were until the roast, I think. One of the roasts when Patrice was shitting on you.
Oh, the Sheen
like
roast.
you just some medieval times waiter.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
But what I liked about you is you're from Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh. PNC Park, prettiest park I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
And I've been to like 6 parks. But you, I guess if anybody like came out of nowhere, you can make a case for you coming out of nowhere. But is that the typical like everybody calls me an overnight success? I put in my fucking time. But like by the time you hit the Comedy Cellar, it was completely new, completely fresh, and your stand-up was a completely different angle.
Well, I hit the Comedy Cellar a couple years before the first roast. I did Trump first and then Sheen. So I would say Trump was my big break. But then, things just start building for you, and so you get to another level and things just kind of snowball. Like after I did Trump, it was like, oh, you were great on that roast. After I did Sheen, it was like, oh, you're great on the roasts. In people's minds, you've just been on all of them at that point, once you've done 2. So that really helped.
It's almost like after you do 2, who did I just have this conversation with? You do 1, everybody goes, holy shit, that guy's good. And then you do the next one, and they're counting on you to be good. Then you got to tap out. It's like gambling.
Yeah, people they have like a 3 roast contract. People get, like Whitney Cummings did that. She did 3 and then she was done because she got her she got her talk shows and stuff that she couldn't come on a roast because she said she's like a bully now because she's doing too well. That I've done my 3. But now that I'm kind of locked in with Comedy Central, I think I've got some more ahead of me.
But it's funny because the perception of us as comics, like apparently I'm just like this walking fucking douche. Like I'm sure my reputation preceded me. And like you said, like Whitney gets perceived as a bully. And what I dug about you is I'd never seen a guy, there's that age-old argument or discussion is like, do you act like you're below the audience? Like, hey, what a day. It's crazy out there. Yeah. My Easy Pass doesn't work. Yeah. Or you like Seinfeld's a little above the audience. Like he even actually holds his nose up. Like physically, I don't know if he's conscious of it.
Yeah.
And you were the first guy to come in and just smash people. I remember the moment I fell madly in love with Anthony Jeselnik, comic. I went to take a piss at the Comedy Cellar. I'm upstairs at the Olive Tree with like Norton, Quinn, like the usual assholes that we sit up there with. And I come downstairs to take a piss, and as I leave, you went on stage when I was in the bathroom. And it's like, you did 4 minutes maybe, and you go, I wasn't always a comic. I used to be just a regular piece of shit just like you people. And I was 6 steps up out of the showroom when you said it. And it like hit me in the back like somebody threw cold water on me. Like, whoa, that's new.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's like hearing the Ramones for the first time. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, he just called them pieces of shit. Not a heckler. Like, the whole thing is, I'm fucking great, and you guys are just whack. Look at yourselves.
Yeah,
I dig it.
That's the kind of thing. If it works, if they laugh at that, it's great. If they don't, there's no getting them back after that.
You must be amazing to watch bomb.
It is. It's really a sight to behold because I have nowhere to go. You know, I can't.
I'm just kidding.
I have to. Well, I have to still be cocky. I have to still pretend I'm killing because I have my whole persona is based on that I'm the best.
Yeah.
So if I'm bombing, I just have to like eat it, but still pretend like I'm doing well. Like you know, Darren the
Darren the party starter.
I once opened for him where he bombed, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life because he still has to keep doing like the party starter in between jokes, and he was just eating it. It was hilarious.
Red Johnny and the Round Guy was a comedy team that did a lot of rap songs. And, like, watching them bomb was something incredible because it was like, boop, 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 living check to check, boo, and, like, beatboxing and shit. And they were, like, phenomenally talented. But for some reason, just people weren't into it. You're locked in, like, we're going to rap for 20 minutes. Yeah. And we're going to do segues and fake commercials. I think Alonzo Hamburger Jones would probably be really good.
I'm sure.
Hamburger, this ain't going as I planned. But you don't really bomb anymore because now
people know who I am. Yeah. So it's occasionally like if I do a drop-in set somewhere, you know, if I do the Comedy Cellar now, you know, it's not everyone's not there to see me. Sometimes I don't bomb, but it's not as much fun as it is when 1,000 people are there just to see me be an asshole. You know, that's a lot more fun for me. If they don't know what they're getting, it can be a mixed bag.
We had to cancel on you because I was sick as balls. So just thanks for redoing this.
No, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to meet you. I've always been a big fan of yours.
And I'm a fan of yours. And it's just all of a sudden there's a new comic. And now that we're done washing each other's balls. Did you write on Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, for the first year.
You did the Tonight Show last night. When we record this, you did the Tonight Show last night. Yeah. I love doing the Tonight Show. And I find it to be really, everybody backstage is super fun. And Leno, everybody takes shots at the guy.
I love Leno. Yeah.
It's like, you work as hard as that fucking guy works.
Exactly. You know, he's great at what he does.
He didn't have to do
he did?
Yeah, he was like, come on by, I'll do whatever you want.
Well, he loves comedians. He loves being able to hang out, and I think being in that position on the Tonight Show kind of takes him above a lot of people. There's not a lot of people he can hang out with anymore.
Yeah.
But when he gets the chance, he really enjoys it. He's always been great to me.
My wife and I just had this discussion, like, comics used to always like pay homage to the guys ahead of you, and now it's like an art form to just talk shit about people that are more successful than you.
Yeah.
Like, you're a marked man now.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody, and there's alt guys, no matter how famous they get, like no one's ever going to take shots at Patton Oswalt. Like he's like a sacred cow. Mm-hmm. Maron, no one's really going to take a shot at Maron because he takes himself down. But you're right, and like Whitney's get perceived as a bully. But like Leno's like the only guy that still keeps reaching back into the bucket and like helping people up.
Absolutely,
and people still talk shit about the guy.
Yeah, it's weird. He's the only stand-up in late night. You know, Letterman kind of was a stand-up, but he's not a stand-up, and he doesn't, you know, get sets anymore. You know, he doesn't know. Letterman couldn't tell you any comics' names at all, except the people who are on his show. There's only like 4 guys a year. But Leno likes having cool new comics come on the show.
And he like, I don't think people realize how rare it is for like a guy Leno's stature to come and just sit on your couch. He doesn't come in and go, have a great show, and leave. He like sits down where you start going, am I supposed to do something?
Yeah.
He's been in here a long time.
Yeah.
You hear the band warming up and he's still in his fucking denim shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, bro, I think you wear a suit when you do this.
Yeah.
You might want to skidoo.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes before the show started, and he was in the denim suit talking to me. And just like nothing was happening, everything was cool. He's a great guy. But I don't like those panel things. You know, I'm used to going out and doing stand-up, doing 5 minutes and killing and getting out of there, and no one's seeing it. But like being on panel last night on Leno, I'm just like trying to remember stories, and I feel weird like having these planned things and trying to be organic, but I'm not at all.
Right.
You know, so I'm still kind of getting my feet in that kind of thing. Because I'm a one-liner guy. You know, if I'm telling one-liners, I don't know how a story goes. I talk for too long without getting a laugh, and I start sweating.
Are you locked into this? Like, I'm better than everybody. Like, what are we going to see, like, in 10 years? Like, the acoustic Jeselnik? Like, you know, I'm dialing it back. I'm just like you guys, man.
I don't know. After I did my first album, I thought maybe I would like to, you know, just to open it up a little more and get longer bits in there, you know, and kind of change things up. But to me, the challenge is going back and doing it again.
Yeah.
Like, I thought getting an hour of one-liners, like, how is that possible? And then I did it, like, can I do it again? And now I'm trying to do it for the 3rd time. And it's just, you have to go a little deeper and be a little smarter, that's the challenge.
True story. Trying to figure out what to name my special, which eventually got named Funny for a Girl. My wife says to me, you should call your special Shakespeare or Not Exactly Shakespeare or Doing Shakespeare and Curing Cancer or Caligula.
Really?
My hand on my son's eyes. My wife named both your albums.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Fucking crazy.
How long ago was this?
Like 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Right, like a month before Shakespeare came out. So maybe she was combing the internet and just found good titles.
Probably.
And lifting them.
Yeah.
She keeps telling me I should start my own record company and call it Swan Song.
Swan Song.
I'm not so sure about that.
That sounds like a negative name to name your.
I worked for Led Zeppelin.
That's true.
I thought you were dialed into that world, man.
That's
You
true.
a rock guy?
Yeah.
Did you Are you into wrestling? Somebody tweeted me like he likes wrestling. It'll be great.
I liked old school. Like I
Yeah.
loved a big influence on me when people were like, how'd you get your persona? A lot of it was the old bad guy wrestlers, like Razor Ramon going into Madison Square Garden, just grabbing the mic and be like, New York City is the worst city in the world, and they would all boo the shit out of him. I thought that's hilarious that he's doing that.
You're the Iron Sheik of comedy.
Yeah,
without pissing your pants.
A little bit.
Iran, number one.
His
Bob
Twitter.
Backlund, make him humble.
I still don't believe his Twitter is his Twitter.
No, it can't be him. He can barely talk.
Yeah. There's no way.
Who the bad guys I loved was like Rowdy Piper when he was a heel was like the greatest of all time.
He was really funny yeah.
because he really didn't have like crazy muscles.
Yeah,
like he just wore a kilt and he was just crazy.
Yeah, his thing was he was crazy.
Like just watch out, just don't touch his face, man. He's fucking crazy. And then I remember like the dearth of big men like there is in the NBA. Like there's just no good 7-footers, no good heavyweight fighters. It was Andre the Giant, and like the biggest guy was like 6'6", 240, 250, and they listed him high.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Snuka, they said was 250. In hindsight, you're like,
no way.
Like Tony Geary, the New Zealand superstar. But then all of a sudden, Big John Studd, remember him?
Yeah.
6'10".
Yeah.
Steps over the top rope, and you go, hold on now. Somebody might beat the shit out of Andre the Giant. Now we got a real thing going.
Yeah. Big John Studd was
sweet.
awesome. Yeah. Oh, I used to go to like Wheeling, West Virginia to see WWF fights as a kid, and the audience was just as entertaining because they would refuse to believe that it was fake. And
Wasn't there a time in your life when you thought it was real? I thought it was real.
Very early on, I remember going to my parents, and like I was watching wrestling downstairs, and
Didn't
these
you
two
live
guys.
with your parents?
Yeah, I live with my parents, but I was downstairs watching TV. And
as a kid, I used to go to my parents' house.
I was downstairs watching it, and like a fight. There was an interview, and the fight broke out during the interview, and I ran upstairs like they were doing an interview in this thing, and like it's fake. You shouldn't be watching. It's garbage, and it's fake.
Like no, even Mean Gene Okerlund got hit.
I was like, how can these
Macho Man
adults?
Randy Savage said his mustache was crooked.
Yeah.
You don't go to the post office, do you?
No, I don't. I don't have time for
terrible.
that.
You don't have time for it. That's why everybody has to use Stamps.com. Make the most of your workday. It's important to eliminate unnecessary tasks. If you're going to write an hour of one-liners, we're going to be standing in line at the post office. That's like 3 one-liners about the post office. You're better off at home imagining the post office.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And then you create your own world of the post office.
You can have plenty of jokes about it.
At home, making your own postage. Stamps.com, y'all. Do it right from your desk. Stamps.com is quick. It's easy to use. I'm being serious. I know I started with like a little gag, but Stamps.com, it is cool as hell. You buy and print official U.S. postage. Use your own computer and printer. Stamps.com will send you a digital scale. You could weigh your head. Who knows how much their head weighs? You know, who doesn't want to weigh their head? I'm looking around the room like somebody's going to chime in. Plug it into your computer. Instantly calculate exact postage for any letter or package. Let's say you want to mail Anthony Jeselnik a fan letter with a picture of your breasts. That would be cool.
Yeah.
AnthonyJeselnik.com. Get after it. Mail the guy something using Stamps.com. You will never have to go to the post office again. I use Stamps.com. And I think it's rad. I just like weighing stupid shit around the house on that digital scale. I think it's cool. Did you know a colander weighs 0.8 pounds?
A colander weighs 0.8 pounds?
Mailed it today. I was playing spaceship with my son. You open the colander up like whoosh, like a spaceship's taking off. Yeah. And he laughs and stuff because he doesn't know that that's not that original for me to do. A colander. I weighed it on the digital scale. 0.8.
It's fascinating.
I defy you to prove me wrong. No risk trial, my friends. $110 bonus offer that includes the digital scale. $55 free postage. That's a lot of letters. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage. Type in my last name, Mohr, M-O-H-R. That's Stamps.com and enter the code Mohr, M-O-H-R, and mail Anthony Jeselnik pictures of your junk. He
Please.
likes that kind of stuff.
I love it. And I only open mail. I don't ever check email. So you want to send me a picture through email? It's not going to work.
Yeah, you don't do electronic mail.
No way.
I like that. You're old
too
school.
big.
You're old school.
Yeah.
You got the mower without the bag on it.
Oh, yeah.
And you go out and rake it all up. The one
Yeah.
that spins.
Yeah. There's the 2 little wheels. Yeah.
Doesn't a part of you envy that guy that has like that wooden handled mower with the 2 wheels?
He always looked happy when he was doing it.
He does. And you're always like, yeah, it's probably good for my lats.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes longer. I'm out in the sun longer. Get a nice bronze back. I look good. You
Yeah.
got some nice sun being in L.A. Look, you like a young Christopher Walken.
I have to thank you.
Not doing the
putting I hate putting on makeup. And like last season when it was like during the winter, they'd put makeup on my hands, put makeup on my face and neck to make everything look like a little like I was so pale. Then now this year I'm like, screw that. I'm gonna get some sun.
You know what confounds me with the TV business at Anthony Jeselnik? Exactly how it sounds. At Anthony Jeselnik, sound. Like, you can't do anything without a good sound department. Like, they can hold up everything. And, like, a chipmunk farts in the woods in Altadena, they're like, we got to do that again. It's no good.
Yeah.
And then you go on YouTube and watch, like, the Dean Martin show. It's like him and Sinatra and Bing Crosby. They're fucking dancing and singing in place.
Yeah.
Just one boom mic. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You're not like, what did they say? What is Chicago? Whose kind of town?
Yeah. They didn't have
But the
ADR
boom guys
back
got to
then.
come in. Like,
Yeah.
the Kardashians probably have to do, like, take 50. I don't know how you get away with what you say on your show. It's almost like certain guy, Louis C.K.'s another guy. There has to be a built-in, I don't give a fuck going in, so don't even start any shit with me attitude going in. Like Louis C.K. will tweet things about like what he wants to do to Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
And it's just, but if I tweeted it, I'd be out of my ass. Or
immediately.
anybody. I don't want to make it about me. But you also, like on the Jeselnik offensive, not only do you say like amazingly great, awful things, the guests, it's like a game of catch-up. And to quote the great Ron Bennington, you start playing Comedy Pyramid like, okay, boom, boom. And then it becomes the game who can lay in the final stone. How do you keep Comedy Central from telling you to dial it back, or do they push you more to go towards it?
They don't push me more. They like me right where I am, kind of. They're like, you've got it offensive handled. Just be funny. Just make sure everything's funny so we don't have to like be worried about notes and stuff. I think just because I came from the roasts where I was so heavy, even heavier than my stand-up on those roasts. And people know me for that. And since I'm so consistent in being the heel and being the villain, and I smile every once in a while, that kind of gets away. That helps me get away with a lot. But I like Jim Gaffigan said, he likes edgy jokes, but he doesn't tell them because he also likes to talk about bacon and like how much he hates salads, and he can't do both. Whereas I like silly stuff too, and different jokes that aren't all about death and rape. But I can't. But I have to do all of those all the time in order to get away with it at all, kind of thing.
Yeah, really, it is. You should be able to do a death, rape, baby in a cooler, and then sprinkle bacon on that joke.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's up with bacon? I think that's why comics get in trouble for like rape jokes, because they're up there being like, "I'm just your friend. Like, I'm your friend. We're all in this together. Aren't we all bros?" And then, oh, by the way, rape is funny. Whereas I'm not like that. I'm like the devil from start to finish. That you can't ever get mad at. If someone comes up and they're like, "I didn't like that one rape joke you told," I'm like, well, what about that 10-minute chunk I did about the Holocaust? You were cool with that? Because you can't have it both ways.
Or which rape joke are you referring to?
Exactly.
I got a whole, I don't know if you saw my notes, but the third line says rape. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you ever purposefully, I know on the Jeselnik Offensive, which there's very few shows I have TiVo'd on the downstairs TV. That's the one with fights on it.
Wow.
That's the NFL package.
Nice.
Daily Show, Jeselnik Offensive. And just now I started doing Naked and Afraid. You ever seen that show?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet.
Charlie digs it. You should fucking get on what Charlie's smoking.
It's
He's
legit.
into it.
Yeah.
They just dropped two people on an island. You literally have to hand your clothes over to the producers in the truck, and then you just walk naked into the woods. And it's a guy and a woman, and they just meet in the middle, like naked. And you get over the fact that you're naked quick. It's 110 degrees, and there's fire ants on your labia.
Oh, what channel is this on?
I just made the whole thing up. It's not even a real show. Me and Charlie worked this out. We were texting when you guys were driving over here. You don't drive either, do you?
I drive. I had him drive. I'm so exhausted from doing press all the time. Like, I think someone drove me to the Tonight Show, and then I had to go do Loveline last night at like midnight.
With Cycle Mike Catherwood?
Yes.
Brown belt in jiu-jitsu. That guy will fuck up a room. He's no joke.
He seems like it.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I liked him.
He looks like
cool.
Baby Ricky. He looks like a little Desi Arnaz.
Yeah.
If Desi Arnaz used to smoke meth. So, out of all the things you've done, is there one where you're like, there's always that one press thing where you're like, I'm not really sure who I reached with. Usually it's the hip hop station for me.
Yeah.
Like you're in Salt Lake City and it's like, yo, 97.5, Kiss, Salt Lake's hottest hip hop, son.
Yeah.
And it's like an Asian guy.
Yeah.
Doing hip hop. I'm not even joking. Like literally it's an Asian guy like, yo, that's 2 Chainz. What's up, Jay Mohr? What's up, man? What you doing, son? What's up?
I once did Hot 97 in New York, like the big hip hop station.
Ed
I
Lover.
walked in and sat down with like 3 of these people I was in there for 10 minutes before they were like, oh, are you the guest? We thought you were from Human Resources. And I was like, this is not going to be a good interview. This is going to be terrible. But the worst for me has been, they call it the soccer mom station when you go and do like those radio things where it's like it's the variety. I had to stop doing them because I had one that just went so bad. It was God, I think maybe I want to say Kansas City. Maybe I was there, and this woman. They were like, I get in there, and like, do you have any Harry Potter jokes? And I said, I was like, you got the wrong guy. And like, well, what can we talk about with you? And I'm like, well, I do the roast.
Rape
talk about the
and
roast.
Holocaust. Yeah. Rape during the Holocaust.
Exactly.
That's you need to combine those worlds.
You know what happened? Those people you couldn't resist in those showers. But. The woman, this woman, she starts off the interview. She goes, "Oh, well," she's like, my mother and I just love the roast, and you're on the roast, huh?" And I say, "Oh, wow!" And she's this older lady. I go, "Wow, I can't believe your mom's still alive." Dead silence. She leans in the mic and goes, "That's hateful." And then they just pointed at me to leave, and I was like, "I will never do." Yeah, I just walked. I told one joke and got out of there, and I was like, "I'll never go back."
Here's Steve Miller, abracadabra. I'll be right back, guys.
Exactly.
See, I've gone the other way as you. As I started, like my act, I used to just like talk about fingers in my butt, getting blowjobs and farting, and then I would have sex with the stool on stage. You see it all the time now, still.
And now you've devolved.
I have devolved, but I've been more honest, and I talk about like shit that actually happens to me, and I just tell regular old stories. But I've also doing corporate gigs. I've learned. Like, I think it's just from doing it like 28 years, I can do an hour PG or G. If they want G, I'll do G. So now that soccer mom station, I just see dollar signs like, oh, these people never thought to come see my show.
Yeah.
So I can go in there and go like, hey, you're pretty looking good with the Hermes bag there, Sheila. Looking nice.
Yeah.
Is that Hani Mori? What's this guy wearing? Just say some stupid shit.
Just be charming. Yeah, a lot of comics will say that. Like, why don't just be charming? Get them out to your shows. I don't want them at my shows. You know, I don't change at all. That I would just rather have only my fans. I don't need to be fooling people into coming to see me, and I don't have a G-rated set, to give anyone. One of the worst shows I've ever done was Mother's Day last year at the Columbus Funny Bone. I was like, why are you people here on Mother's Day to see me at 7 o'clock? They must have, because it was one of the worst shows of all time.
Why was it bad? Why does Mother's Day have to do with you doing Holocaust rape jokes?
Because nothing, and they should never. It's not peanut butter and chocolate, man. Those two things should never come together. Are my jokes and Mother's Day? It was just people were just there because they got like coupons from the Funny Bone to come out on a Sunday show, and it was just start to finish. Every joke was just like, ugh, from the audience. Like, it was awful. It was awful. I'll never go back to that club.
What comic surprised you on Jeselnik Offensive? I know you had the first season was short. Seemed like, what was it, 6 episodes?
10.
Oh, it was 10?
Yeah.
Then I TiVo'd late. I got in late. What comic surprised you where you were like, holy shit, this guy's beating my brains out. This is great.
God. It's fun. It's fun to see people like really gleefully jump into something. Like Kumail Nanjiani is like a really nice guy. It feels really uncomfortable about being mean to someone, and he just opened up and like went at it. Like he's on the episode that airs tonight. I don't know. This is airing what, Monday or something?
This airs in like January.
Okay, great.
We just stockpile him in case I ever have my appendix.
Promoting season 3.
Yeah.
The episode that airs tonight.
Season 3 of the Jeselnik Offensive. Don't miss that, you guys.
We had
out tonight.
I had Kumail Nanjiani and David Koechner on. And
my God, Human Pot.
Unbelievable. He's so funny. Even his setups were hilarious. But I had this game. It was called Worst Face Scenario. We were talking about people who had face transplants. And I would show the before picture, and I'd show 2 versions of a after picture. You had to decide which one was the real one. And it's so, looking at these people's faces, you want to throw up. It's so uncomfortable. And I thought, these guys would be...
Like the guy that's on like Discovery.
Exactly, yeah, that guy.
But what fascinates me about that face transplant guy is he grew a goatee.
Yes.
Out of the whole thing. Like, yeah. You know what? I don't want a glass eye. I just want like a flappy, weird hole where my eye used to go.
I can't believe.
But you got to get me a goatee if we're going to fucking pull this off.
You would think you'd go full beard. That thing can't be fun to shave. I understand the goatee, but I'm sure a lot of it's just functional.
Fun to shave?
Yeah. Shaving a face transplant? It must be terrible. You think that'd be a blast?
Why? I don't know because you can't feel. It's not your face. You have no feeling, right? They can't make nerve and I don't know. I'm asking you.
No, I think it's probably texture. I think it's like there's layers. You've got like 4 different faces. You got to have
it's like 6 cadaver asses. You're an ass face, literally.
Yeah.
And then
so it's not.
So you don't feel it. So maybe it's fun to just see like, oh my God, I'm bleeding all over myself. I went way too hard.
He needs a new face transplant every time he shaves. That's why he has to go
People
too.
have had face transplants. I only know the one guy that makes the rounds on
We
TV.
had like 3. We had 3 examples. I don't know if you
laughing
count.
at?
I don't know if you count
Why'd
the
they make
monkey
you
face.
laugh?
I don't know if you count the monkey face lady.
No,
But
you got to count the monkey face lady.
I don't think she was in there, but it was like 3 people on one of the pictures. We couldn't get the rights to the guy's picture when he was like an adult, so they were like, they thought it was a good idea to put a picture of him as a kid. So it's like, look at this little kid. What is his face? People were, the audience almost revolted, and I thought the game would be funny because I could be the gleeful one. Like, look at this now, and David and Kumail would be like, oh no, like this is awful. Move on, make a joke and move on. But they were like, you know what else he looks like? And he also looks like this and that, and they just kept piling on. The whole bit went on. It was like 3 little segments of people's faces. Went on for 25 minutes, and the audience was against us the entire time. It almost ruined the whole show. We cut the whole thing out of the show.
If you get an audience against Keckner, you've really done your job as a villain. Like, that's crazy. That's like when Hulk Hogan went Hollywood Hulk Hogan with the black stipple on beard.
The NWO?
You turned Keckner into a heel somehow, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, he really enjoyed it. They had a blast.
Why wouldn't you count the monkey face lady?
Because I don't know if she had like a
front of the pack.
She had a face. Did she have a full transplant, or did they?
It's your show.
Did the monkey rip it up and they put it back together, or did it rip it off?
Is the face transplant? They don't put a face on. They take it. It's like a potpourri.
Yeah.
I guess a crock. What am I looking for? Grab bag, potluck.
Potluck. I think it was the other way.
Thank you. Like the sign outside the Comedy Store. You never know. There's a Bobby Lee. There's a Crystalia. You don't know what's going to happen that night. It's craziness. It's potluck. It's like a piece of an ass. Somebody's elbow goes where your cheek went.
Yeah.
Is your understanding? I mean,
A little bit. I think. Well, this guy, the guy I call Fat Johnny Drama, the guy you were talking about, the guy who's the goatee. That's what he looks like now. But he had like the lips, chin, and like nose from like a 22-year-old man.
Yeah.
I think that was his. I think it was all from one guy.
I like to think it was a black guy and he's a white supremacist. Like there was that episode of Oz where one of the white supremacist guys on Oz.
Got the new gums?
He had new gums and it was black guy gums.
Yeah.
So they just raped him and beat him because he had black guy gums. I like that they don't like you. You have black gums, so you have to suck our dicks.
Yeah.
We need to put our dicks on your black gums. All right, here we go. Which guy is this? Here we have some face. This will go up on the Tumblr page at Jay Mohr 37. Enjoy, my friend.
I don't recognize either of those.
Oh, so Matty
fellas.
Boy at the Real Hey Matty stumped Anthony Jeselnik, who is a bona fide card-carrying expert in face transplants.
Yeah.
You don't know this? Whoa. Looks a little like Yao Ming on the right.
Unless he grew the goatee afterwards, because the picture we had.
No, this isn't the goatee guy.
No.
That looks like Governor Patterson on the right. In Jersey. You know what I like about the guy that we're talking about with the goatee? At the very end of the feel-good story, he's pushed his daughter on a swing. You didn't see that part?
No.
Yeah, like daddy's coming home, he's got a new face, and the daughter's touching his face. Oh, it's the guy he got like electrocuted at work. Do you know the man I'm talking about?
No.
Wow, this is great. I brought new face. Now you're gonna have to do research and replay the game again.
Yeah.
There's a guy, he got electrocuted at work, like somebody fucked up the wire. Are you holding in laughs or puke? Oh, let's see it. That's great. Why is it terrible? All right, let's play a game.
That guy's face looks like Stephen Hawking's body.
Let's play a game.
That's awful.
Why? With the picture or what he said? Let's play a game. Face transplant or Roger Ebert?
Okay. Okay, I'm going to be good at this.
You can only look for 1 second.
What's up? Okay.
But what if I do? All right.
Face transplant.
That's good.
This close. I also would have accepted Roger Ebert chewing gum. That could have worked. That could have worked.
But not for long. He keeps having to scoop it back up and pick it. He's dead now, isn't he?
Yeah.
That poor fucking guy died.
He died just as soon as he got that new jaw.
Oh, God.
That's a
I like
secret-
when he's just a half face. He's
Yeah.
like the Pez dispenser,
Yeah.
Ebert.
Yeah.
And we know that full well that you and I are probably going, I chewed tobacco for a long time because I
I
wanted
did
to
too.
fit into some weird clique that I was never in. So my jaw will rot away and I'll look like Roger Ebert and I'll look like a Pez dispenser with a permanent smile that's half Chelsea Clinton.
I don't know if I would go. If that was going to happen to me, I think I gotta check out on the spot. I don't know if I would go half jaw.
Just shotgun to the head.
Yeah. Take my jaw off myself.
How do you eat with half a jaw? Half a meal?
I have a lot of milkshakes going on in your life at that point.
A lot of metrics. Now, Matty Boy just
Yes, that she was on.
Wait, all right. Matty, if you're going to do this, get a mic and get in the game.
All right.
People get mad.
That one girl, the girl after she looks like a human grimace.
Let me
like
see
from-
it.
It looks like a
McDonald's.
big toe.
She does
She
look
just
like
looks
a big toe. That's incredible. But the one on the right is not real, right?
The one on the right she was an option for what the face transplant person could have been. But I think she was...
What do you mean it's terrible? This is a good time.
I mean as an option.
This is the guy, Rich Voss.
That's
Rich Voss.
That's That's Fat Johnny Drama, is what we call him. But he does look like Rich Voss.
I got a washing machine door.
Yeah.
Look at the white chicks checking me out. I can't see him.
Oh, God.
He does look a little like Rich Voss, doesn't he?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, but funnier.
Yeah, with charisma.
Yeah. Rich Voss, but he's not spitting all over you. They dab his mouth instead. So if you get at this game,
something about people's faces. Like I'm always fascinated by what it's okay to make fun of. Like when I talked about Oscar Pistorius in season 1, people went like
Brilliant
so
episode.
crazy. Thank you. They would go. Something about a guy with no legs killing his girlfriend was hilarious to people. But something about if you talk about people who have like lost limbs, that can be okay. You can make fun of that girl who got her arm bitten off by the shark and still goes surfing.
Bethany Hamilton. I was
Bethany
like,
Hamilton,
how do
yeah.
people feel about her?
Yeah, I think that's okay to make fun of. But something about faces, people just make it too much about. They imagine themselves with that face. Like if you make a joke about killing a dog or killing a cat, that's
crazy.
a lot
They
edgier
hate it,
because they imagine they're cats and dogs.
The dogs can't defend themselves. Fucking PETA idiots.
Ridiculous.
I'm sick of these fucking, like those Sarah McLachlan commercials. And you're like, is that Susan Sarandon? Did she have a stroke? Like, what is this? She looks okay.
That's awful.
I'm Sarah McLachlan. And rule number 1 of being a celebrity endorser, Anthony Jeselnik, is if you have to tell me your name, you're not famous enough to fucking do it.
That's right.
And ASPCA, you can't pull some juice and get somebody that I go, like Alec Baldwin, when he goes, what's in your wallet? I don't go, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, it's him.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Fallon doesn't go, hey, I'm Jimmy Fallon. What's in your wallet?
Yeah.
Because you know I don't know who that impression was, but.
There's a little Fallon in there. Yeah.
All right. You know who it is.
Yeah.
And then they want to sell you like homeless dogs and cats. But you can't make fun
I
of
wonder
them.
if she made money on that.
I'm about to skin this fucking Yorkie out here making all this racket. Making it do you think Sarah McLachlan made money off those dogs and cats? Did you adopt like a dog with fucking mustard running out of its eyes?
I bet she did the thing for free, and then they bought the song. I bet she makes money every time they play that commercial. She's got to get something.
What about just the fulfillment in her heart that she got cats off the streets and a rabbit wearing
She
with
hasn't
crutches?
done a fucking thing. It would make people feel bad at night.
Like, how many
That's it.
homeless people do you think she drove around to get to that studio to try to pawn off a dog with its ribs sticking out? It's wearing an ace bandage like it's got a toothache on the little rascals.
Yeah, they've got
It's fake. Half those animals are faking it.
They've got teeth and claws. They can handle themselves. They don't need us.
Yeah, I'm sure all the kids at St. Jude's are real happy you got that fucking cat out from behind that collapsed wall in the tenement building. You ever see the commercials? Like 6 SWAT team members.
Yeah.
Like, this is a town with no minorities.
Yeah.
Like, they just got time to pull cats out of buildings.
Yeah.
It's like no crime in this neighborhood.
And they're the real heroes.
I think if you do, and I do actually say this sentence on stage, so I don't want you to be like, you fucking try to bid out on me, but I do feel strongly about it. I love animals. Obviously, I got them in my house. I employ one. But if you're going to save one of those dogs or cats, I think you have to go show it to like a homeless veteran laying in his own piss with like a Karl Malone Laker jersey and go, she doesn't itch anymore. Just let that guy know you got that fucking cat up and running.
Yeah, you got your priorities straight.
Yeah, and that guy will tell you you're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, I'll be psyched.
PETA loves this show. I love the animals, but save the people. Who's going to walk them if you save all the animals?
True.
Do you have pets?
No, I can't take care of anything. I would love to get a dog.
Take care of myself.
I can pull that together.
10 minutes right there, you got it. See?
I want a dog. I like big dogs. You know what I mean? I want like a what's the Scooby-Doo dog? The Great Dane. I want one of those things. But I don't have like the space in my apartment or the time really.
But they don't. What's weird about a Great Dane is they don't need a lot of room. It's the weirdly immobile dog.
Well, they say if you run them around when they're puppies, then you're fucked. Then they have to run around forever. But if you just keep them chill when they're puppies, you got to bind their legs.
Like
And then
Japanese ladies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then
That's what you did to Lucy Liu when you guys met at the Tommy Mottola party.
Mm-hmm.
You bound her legs and feet up.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody knows that story.
No, she won't tell it.
Hashtag Lucy Liu at Anthony Jeselnik at Jay Mohr 37. And Lucy Liu, we're on to you, sweetie pie. Who is your favorite Beatle? I asked C.J. Wilson that this morning. Me and Charlie were talking about it. Have I asked that every episode, the last 8 episodes?
It's evolved.
Close to it.
I would have to go. I'd have to go with George at this point. I feel like it changes throughout your life as you kind of and I don't know. George kind of left with some dignity.
What, throat cancer?
I mean, he kind of aged gracefully, and then he got to die.
Put an
as
album with
like,
a fucking with a sitar. That's dignity to you?
no, but that's not the best.
I want you guys to hear my new shit. Paul's going band on the run at the exact same time. George is in a yurt going ding 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 dong ding. It's fucking good, right? It's
There must have been something else behind it. He must have been crazy about Indian pussy or something to go for the sitar.
Who isn't? Indian woo 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 or Indian from Pradeep or Prindian?
Same diff, bro.
No,
Same
it's
diff,
not same diff. Very
India,
different.
India, like India.
From India.
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana Indians.
Yeah.
Indiana named that. There's a lot of people named Pradeep in Indiana.
The originals.
I'm trying to ask as many questions as possible that lead you and I down a rabbit hole where you are forced to bring me on your show.
Let me give you my. I've got 3 quick Jay Mohr stories. Can I give you those real fast? One is the first day. One is Action is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Me too.
Peter Dragon is an influence on my stage persona. You were the first guy I'd ever seen like be an asshole and be like the lead of a show. You know what I mean? It was so great to me to see how you could do that I was like, oh, this is amazing. That was groundbreaking for me.
It was weird because at the time I thought it wasn't groundbreaking. It was revisiting because Carol, like Archie Bunker, was like, "Oh, geez, there's a spade out on the front lawn." Like he said the craziest shit. Like you couldn't even say what he said on your show. And then Buffalo Bill, that Dabney Coleman show, he was a complete anti-hero the whole way down the line. So and like Al Bundy, Married with Children. So I was like, all right, maybe this is like this is it now. We're ready to do anti-heroes. The answer was no, resounding no.
Yeah.
We were on opposite friends, and we got our teeth kicked in.
Well, I bet the ratings, if you got those ratings now,
It's still
that you
going.
got that.
That's the story of my life, Jeselnik.
Yeah.
Fucking,
No.
It's not about me. It's
It's
about
a story too. My
you. Wait,
first.
that's the story that I was on a show?
But that was a big influence on me. I love
All
that
right.
show.
That's
that was a
sweet.
cool show. Yeah, it's very sweet.
Usually people come on and go, I heard a story that you fucking tased Neil Brennan in the neck at a club once.
Who hasn't?
No, I don't know anybody that has it.
Yeah, everyone, you got it. It's like a.
That's why him and Chappelle don't talk. Chappelle wouldn't stop tasing him.
Number 2 is my first day of work, or my second day. I came out to LA after college. I had no money, and I'll get extra work. I'll work as an extra. And my second and last day as an extra was the final reshoot day of Pluto Nash.
Oh my God! In New York?
No, in LA. It was out here, and it was like a dance club scene.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was miserable. I hated being an extra so much. We all had to like pretend we were dancing, and everyone was like looked pissed. Everyone knew this movie was like it was.
You had the worst job in the worst movie.
Yes, it's
at the worst
It's
time.
terrible. But you made me laugh so hard because you were the only guy who wasn't like openly mad to be there, but you were so disrespectful. The director would be like, guys, I need complete silence. And everyone would be like, okay. And you just hear, hey, I just shit my pants, like as loud as you could. And no one would even say anything to you. No one would be like, Jay, please. They would just wait till you were done and then go. And I was like, how great is it to be the comedian on this set and be the guy who just gets to absolutely not take it seriously at all?
Well, the sad thing is Eddie Murphy is in the goddamn movie. He's supposed to be the comedian on set.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like working with Gregory Peck.
He was fear. I remember being
I
impressed.
said that as Colin. I don't know why. When is CQ going to be on his Jeselnik offensive? I like to keep it PG, you know?
That's great.
Yeah, but Eddie Murphy, here's the thing. When you do a movie like that, you go, I read the script. I don't really think it's that great. And I'm not one of these guys like, that was a big... A lot of people go like, I got no regrets. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Everything... There's always... If you're a comedian and you're looking behind you, you're fucked.
Totally.
Because there is so much shit ahead of you.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming. You're going to hit land.
Yeah.
There's just... You're going to get a Tide commercial. Some weird shit's just going to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
That's how it goes for us.
Yeah.
And you're just at the rental car. It hurts. And somebody goes, are you busy next...
Yeah. Well, look at Billy Gardell. He was like thinking about taking like a gig in Vegas and just like giving up a tour and everything. And CBS just called him and were like, "You're the guy. Come do Mike and Molly."
Mike and Molly.
He didn't even audition.
Now his grandchildren don't have to work.
Amazing.
So in Pluto Nash, you read the script and you go, "Well, this is kind of shitty," but Eddie Murphy's in it. And he just did the clumps. And I guess if I read the clumps, I'd be like, it's probably all ad lib. You know how those comics are? They're really wacky.
Yeah.
And then you read it again and you go, I don't think this is very funny. But my thing was, I got to sing, I got to play Frank Sinatra. So my whole thing was, I could show, like, how many times does a comic get to actually sing Fly Me to the Moon without goofing off?
Yeah.
In front of, like, Eddie Murphy and all this, like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do Party All the Time, Party. I'll get my own record deal. Like, your mind starts going crazy because you haven't stopped using drugs and drinking yet. And then you're on the set and you're like, this is pretty bad. And then Martin Bregman walks in and has a meeting with you, and he did, like, fucking Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And it's Marty Bregman, and he goes, it's going to be great. I'm telling you. You got to wait for the edit. And you go, all right, Eddie Murphy, Martin Bregman, and Louis Guzman wants to smoke pot with me at lunch.
Yeah, I remember
Apparently,
Guzman.
this is great.
Yeah.
And we go to Montreal, and you make some money. You get a check with 2 commas, and you get really happy. No, I didn't make a check with 2 commas. That was a complete lie. I meant 6 figures. I got that wrong.
Tasteful.
But yeah, at the time, I had fun doing it.
Yeah.
And you strike me as a guy that when all, like, as late as they make you work, there's really no reason to take any of it seriously. We're fucking comics.
Yeah, exactly. You're allowed. The whole point of this job is you're allowed to not take anything seriously, and you get a pass for that. Side note: I just remembered this. I watched Pluto Nash after it had come out, and I don't know if your character name was Tony Francis, or your stage name was going to be Tony Francis. But when I got really sick in the beginning of people mispronouncing Jeselnik. I was like, maybe I should have a stage name, and I almost went with Tony Francis. I remember emailing my friends and saying, "What do you think about Tony?" Because change Anthony to Tony, and Francis was my confirmation name. I was like, that's kind of ironic. I'll go with maybe Tony Francis. And all my friends were like, you sound like a fucking like Italian lounge singer. Do not do that. And so when I saw you being like, there's a part where you're like in the mirror going, it's Tony Francis. Like you're like imagining girls like running up to you. It made me laugh so fucking hard at the idea that could have been my.
And then I got to ad lib with like Eddie Murphy. Like it's weird. You dig and you go, holy shit, there's like an actual diamond under here.
Yeah, you find the thing that attracts you to it. Like Elijah Wood was like, people were making fun of him because he did the movie Flipper. He's like, why would you do the movie Flipper? He's like, you don't understand. Flipper was me living in Australia for 3 months swimming with dolphins. That's why I made Flipper, because it was a fun experience. If you let me get one little thing out of it, getting to riff with Eddie Murphy is more than a reason to do a movie. And
I would do Eddie Murphy's jokes to him, and he would laugh and go, what's that from? And I'm like, it's from your act. And he goes, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Like, I literally would go, I would say to him, you know what I love about when you talk about your dad? When he goes, the dog don't know his name, Eddie. Watch this. Coco. Where the fuck is he going? And he goes, what? Like, he looked like guess what? Like, what? What's the bad news? What?
Yeah.
And I go, the dog does know his name. Because if the dog doesn't know his name, there's no joke. The dog just stands there and stares at your dad. But the dog knows his name, and he's obstinate and goes in another direction. And then your dad goes, where the fuck is he going? And then he looked at me and goes, oh, I never thought of it like that, man. I'm like, no, this is the worst. Like, what? He goes, yeah, that is like, and then he came after me after lunch and he goes, yeah, I was thinking about that, man. It's like a 3-dimensional joke, man. A 3-dimensional joke that I did that you remembered that I had long since forgotten.
Oh, that's great.
Do you believe in meeting your heroes, or you were like, don't ever meet your heroes? Because I'm like, if there's somebody that I worship, I just track them down and I'll bug the shit out of them.
I don't like to meet them unless they know who I am. I don't want to meet them as a fan. I've avoided comics because I didn't want unless I was coming off stage to be like, hey, nice to meet you. I didn't have to do great, and they don't have to like love me. I just don't want them to think I'm just some fucking fanboy walking.
You ever come off stage, just call their name, like Jerry? Dad, you guys have been great. Jerry, hold on 1 sec. You guys have been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
No, I think the closest I came was like walking right up to David Cross after I walked off stage and walked right up to him and shook his hand and was like, Mr. Cross, I'm Anthony Jeselnik, I'm a fan. Oh. And meanwhile, they're bringing him up on stage behind me. So he's just trying to get around me to get to the stage, and I had no idea. I was just blabbermouth.
Where was
worship. It was at the M Bar. Do you remember the M Bar?
No.
It's on Vine and Fountain. It used to be like when Comedy Bang Bang was like the big alternative show for years, and that started at M Bar. It was a cool little
show.
Is
like that's another show that's on the downstairs TiVo. That show is so. To my friends that have never done acid, I go, if you watch Comedy Bang Bang, that's about as close as you can get.
Very close.
Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, with a confidence to it, though. It's not like just crazy for the sake of being crazy. It's very controlled kind of anarchy. I love that show.
When you say David Cross, it's like, you can't get more different than me and David Cross, right? And it's weird. Me and him did a movie together, Small Soldiers, and Dennis Leary's in the movie as our boss. So, like, me and Dennis Leary are a little more similar, but completely different. David Cross and Leary, North and South Pole,
Yeah.
and I'm like somewhere in the middle of North America. But like, if you just put comics in a room long enough, like he's alt, he's a hack from Jersey, he's a hack from Boston, I'm fucking cool, I'm the smart. It all goes away, and you wind up fucking making fart jokes.
Yeah. It really
Smell this.
couldn't
Smell
be
what's
more
in this
true.
cup. Smell what's in this cup. Smell what's in this cup. I'll smell it. And then it became like braggadocio, like who could smell each other's fart in a cup the longest.
Yeah.
And Larry would be like, I'll fucking smell it. I'll smell it right now. I'll fucking smell it.
You know, Leary's a guy I've never met that I've always wanted to.
Great guy.
I used to love No Cure for Cancer was one of my favorite albums growing up.
Really?
Yeah, loved it.
Who's your favorite comic of all time?
I might have to go Stephen Wright. Love Stephen Wright.
Again.
You know, Rodney Dangerfield was amazing. Mitch Hedberg was great. I always loved the one-liner guys. You know, I never really, even like people are like, oh, Bill Cosby's the greatest. I didn't give a shit. I was like, I understand that you're really good at telling the story, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear fucking jokes.
Stephen Wright is. Kat said to me, it's super. Like he's the only guy in the history of stand-up comedy that started at a 2,000-seat theater. And for 28 years, he's never played a comedy club, and he's never like gone like Water Garden, whatever the fuck the Boston Garden's called.
Yeah.
Like he's just that 2,000 seat, never dipped, never went up. Like he's just maintained like that robotic dog in Fahrenheit 451, just tenacious, never fucking stops.
Yeah,
I fucking love that guy.
I would love to know more about his career. Like if he tried to do a sitcom, if he wrote a movie at some point, or if he was just happy just doing his thing.
My wife and I were looking at opening houses in Santa Monica just for fun, and he was walking out of one when we were walking in, and then we wrote the song "Glory Days" and we sold it to Springsteen.
Oh wow, that's a great story.
But literally, she knew him from. She used to go out with Bobcat, and him and Bobcat were like really good friends. And then it was like those two meeting in the doorway was weird. And then immediately, Stephen Wright, he just starts like giggling. He's like got the greatest giggle laugh you've ever heard, ever. If you ever listen to him on like Mark Maron on his WTF,
I have listened to that. Yeah,
like they just start like laughing, like crazy laughing, and that's like I'm with you. Like I would have loved, like George Carlin in Prince of Tides played the gay neighbor.
Yeah,
perfect. Like you could have nominated the fucking guy, and nobody would have went, "What's he doing in the mix?"
Yeah,
it was perfect. And Stephen Wright, I think, is one of those guys. He's got an Oscar already, but I do think for Schindler's List.
Yeah. Yeah,
he was
great as he was the girl in the red dress.
Yes,
yeah, he was great in that.
Named Oscar.
Yeah. I met him once at the Comedy Cellar, and it was a disaster.
Why? Who? Stephen Wright?
Stephen Wright. I'd never met him face to face. Like Stephen Wright's downstairs just watching comics. There was no one there. It was like it was in the winter. There was maybe 10 people in the audience, but Stephen Wright's one of them. And I've got to go up. And it's one of those, you just know you're going to eat it for 10 people. I was just like, all right, let's see how this goes. And I'm hoping it's going to go well. I'm so nervous.
Are you hoping he's going to say, like, you should open for me. I'm going to Nashua, New Hampshire.
No, I just wanted him to be like, oh, like, you're funny. Like, that's all I wanted.
Okay,
was him just think
Fair
I'm funny.
Enough. Yeah,
and so I do my set. It's terrible. I'm just like, it would have been fine if he hadn't been there. But I know he's there. I know he's watching, so I'm sweating it. And I walk off, and he comes out. I'm like, Stan, I can't believe I just bombed in front of Stephen Wright. He walks out to leave, and he walks out and he goes, hey, you're funny. And I go, oh, thank you very much. And I put my hand out to shake his hand. I'm dying to shake his hand. I'm a big handshake guy. And he just kind of just turns away and puts his elbow out. He's one of those guys who doesn't shake hands when he meets new people. And
like
I was
the
just
Howie Mandel, like fist bump.
But he doesn't explain it either. He just goes like, and just kind of walks away. And I was like, oh, that's killer. It's the worst when you put your hand out and someone does that to you.
Do you grab his elbow and like shake it like a doorknob?
I had no time to react. I was just like, why is he turning away?
Yeah.
And why is he still wearing a jean jacket? But other than that was cool.
Well, he got it off of Leno. Boom! Bringing all the fucking way back around. You never saw that face transplant guy pushing his daughter on the swing? That's how you knew everything was okay with the face transplant guy.
He was cool. He had that swing set.
Yeah, he can't see, but he's pushing. Like that's
how old was his daughter?
She was like 6, but like, where's Child Protective Services? There's a blind guy that can't feel his face pushing a girl in a fucking swing set.
I wonder if he feels bad that from the rest of her life, his daughter's only going to be attracted to guys with face transplants.
Do you know who Paul Driggs Weeks is?
No.
Well, you should.
Yeah?
Because he had a face transplant, and he emailed me just now in real time. I just made that all up. He used the Amazon banner at jmohr.com.
Bought a face.
He bought a face. If you go to jmohr.com and click the Amazon banner, you can buy parts for face.
That's why you go Amazon Prime, so it gets there in time.
Amazon Prime?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way to go for face?
Absolutely.
Oh, because that's to stay cool in the cooler.
Yeah.
What kind of cooler do you use?
Igloo.
Coleman.
Coleman, really?
Coleman.
Wow.
Igloos for fucking amateurs.
Oh, my God. I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's how you get the fucked up face. That's the chimp lady. Or that tan mom.
Yeah.
That tan came in an igloo.
She went
cooler.
igloo.
You got to go Coleman. Coleman's the way to go because you got the spout on the side to let the excess liquid leak out. You know, you got to separate if there's sepsis or something on your face on ice.
Yeah.
Not dry ice. You don't want to burn your face.
That's how they did in Face Off, actually. Now that I think about it, was Coleman coolers.
See?
Yeah.
I'm not going to steer you wrong.
Yeah,
Come on,
great.
AJ. I got your back, buddy boy. Come on now. Dear JJ, I recently used your Amazon link at jmohr.com to purchase Photoshop and Lightroom photo editing software, as well as new Nikon DSLR camera. A lot of people buy cameras on this thing, don't they, Matty Boy? A few weeks ago, I started dabbling in photography, and I'm hooked. Time to upgrade my photo game and start hanging with the big boys. Been a Mohr Stories listener ever since episode 1. I'd like to personally thank you for the countless hours of free entertainment you've given me. You've inspired me to always, check this out, right? I want you to shit on this guy, all right?
Okay.
Because you're the heel. Oh, this is great. This guy's so positive. Paul, he's in Seattle, and he says, you've inspired me to always look at the big picture and see things through an honest lens. I can only hope that this inspiration shines through into my photos. Cheers, Paul in Seattle. Isn't that nice, Matty Boy?
Did he put lens in quotes?
Sweet. Huh?
Did he put lens in quotes, like to be cute? Because this guy sounds awesome, you know what I mean? He's just like spending his time getting into photography, which is always cool, and writing emails to podcasts to let him know what he bought. He sounds great. Let's get. When's he going to come on the show and be a guest?
Hey, girls, look, a couple rules up front. I don't do nudes. When was the last time you had an actual headshot taken? And by the way, thank you, Paul. You're a good dude. I have looked at this guy's photos. Bow down to the stars is the photo I liked. I actually bookmarked it. I'm going to close this because I'm ashamed that I have such a good connection and I'm such a kiss-ass to my fans. When you get to tell them to go fuck themselves on a nightly basis.
It's great.
I'm like, come on, guys. Let's all go out after this. We're all friends.
When I'm taping my show, we're doing it, and I've got to retake a joke or something, that like they want the audience to be laughing as I go to tell it, and it's impossible to be like, if you're like, hey, laugh, they get that fake laugh. So I just go, hey, everybody go fuck yourselves. And they start laughing, and then I just look and tell the joke. It's great. It works every single time.
Has there been a sketch that's been pulled because you guys are like, this is like too crazy?
There was one thing that got pulled, like the episode aired, and then it blew up in New Zealand. And New Zealand went so crazy. We did this thing called Shark Party, where it was like one of the first bits we thought
could
of.
have literally ended the episode on the word Shark Party, and nobody would have been disappointed. We did this thing called Shark Party. It's the manager showcase with Jay Mohr and Earl Weaver.
We had this idea that when someone got eaten by a shark, we would do like a celebration. You know, we have dancers come out, and we did this. The first guy of the year was this guy from New Zealand who got eaten by a shark, and a great white, which I love.
How far into the year?
This was maybe our 4th episode. What do you think?
No, I mean in the calendar year. Was it in January, February?
Oh, it must have been February. February, maybe early,
New Year's
maybe
Day.
March.
New Year's Day.
March. It was.
I like to celebrate every New Year.
It was in March because I was surprised it had been that long.
Yeah.
And we did this thing where I mentioned this guy got killed, and then I'm like, and then we do this thing where we had like a bunch of girls come out in like shark costume kind of things, like little dresses.
Yeah, sexy
and then
sharks.
a girl come out
Sand
with like
sharks.
a big shark mascot costume, but like sexy legs, and give me a lap dance.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm like giving like the
Until
speech
you
about
make
why
chum.
sharks are awesome. And at the end, great chum joke. I had to stop everything I was doing to
keep going.
acknowledge it.
I'd rather you just keep going.
And then and then at the end, we're like, all right, now let's not forget the man who made this all possible. We show the guy's face, his name, and like the year that he like was born and died. And I go, smile, you son of a bitch. And they're like, we'll be right back with whatever. And everyone loved it. Everyone was like, this is so different and weird that you're dancing. I had to learn choreography. It was crazy. And then that night, or like the next week, on like the show airs Tuesday, on Monday, they send the clip out on the internet. New Zealand doesn't get the Jeselnik offensive. They don't get, their Comedy Central's different, but they get the clip. And the New Zealand media goes straight to the guy's family and says, watch this, what do you think? And they were like, we don't like it. So all of New Zealand went crazy. And there's like only 250 of those cunts anyway.
Yeah.
But they went so nuts.
But they headbutt your face. They're Maoris. They're crazy. They can fight.
Yeah, they love to fight. That's all they do.
They need to be heard. You got to listen to them.
Well, they posted, because I don't care about death threats on the internet. It doesn't bother me. I don't. You suck. I don't care. But they posted my mom and dad's phone number and address online.
New Zealand people.
New Zealand people.
Fucking indoor plumbing.
Yeah, they found it and they threw it up there, and that was the worst. Having to explain to my mom why she had to change her phone number, and she was getting phone calls at like 5 a.m. from people being like, "Good day, your son's gonna die."
You know what I love about that was a good accent, by the way. You know what I like about his strong suit? You know what I like about the Maoris? It takes a special dude to tattoo his face, be naked in the woods with a full top hat.
That's true.
Like, I'm just going to wear a top hat and tattoo my dick to match the tattoo on my face.
The game Monopoly was a big hit over there. They all fashioned themselves
Fighting
after
over the top
characters.
hat. I don't want to be the dog again.
And they carry irons. Yeah.
Do you know Kelsey Grammer's family, like half of his family got eaten by sharks?
Half of them at once?
A lot. No, like 4 people, and I don't want to exaggerate because it's too good of a story. But when you hosted Saturday Night Live, you could have a celebrity shark party. Stephanie Hamilton and Kelsey Grammer. Now, this is common knowledge, so I'm not talking out of school.
Yeah.
Me and David Tell shared an office when I was at Saturday Night Live, and neither one of us were worth our weight in dicks. We didn't do shit because we didn't know how anything worked, and we didn't go to Harvard. We would just sneak out and do sets and come back and be like, "Yeah, I've just been working on this thing at the part of the building you guys don't know about called the Comedy Cellar." And they give you these giant packets of the bio of the guest. Like your research department, you have no idea. Saturday Night Live research, you'd be like, "Hey, whatever happened to Sarah McAuliffe?" Or like and they just give you like reams and reams and reams, and so. You know, the first 2 weeks, you're like, it's like school. You get your trapper keeper, like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. I know metric. And then that's my impression of a black guy imitating a white guy. Hey, everybody. Hey, that Jeselnik. How are you, buddy? Get in the car, Maggie, and the niggers are coming.
Would you like some chocolate chip cookies?
Hey, how about a cookie? Why do they have to be chocolate chip, fella? Back off, brother. We don't want any problems, brother. That's how every white guy. You know who talks like that? Tony Gwynn. That's like that. Tony Dungy, any black coach in the NFL other than Herman Edwards.
Yeah.
Who famously put your name on it. Be a man.
We play to win the games.
Hello? But that's not the black part. The black part is he goes, you play to win the game. Hello? Like, he should have had a floor-length fucking manatee coat, a sweeper made out of Like, am I out to kill a bitch? I'll stab a special teamer right here. Hello? Like, challenges the media. Yeah. So, the first 2 weeks, you read the bio extensively because you really need an advantage and all. You fucking think it'll help. And then everybody just stops reading them. Me and Attell, it's mid-season, like episode 11, we're just fucked. We don't know dick. We're assholes. We're gonna get fired at any moment.
Yeah.
We read the packet cover just by accident in the same. We shared an office. That's all you need to know how crazy it was. And we just both start giggling at the same time. His brother got eaten by a shark. Like his half brother got eaten by a shark. One of his cousins got eaten by a shark. All like 4 years apart. 2 of them. It's true, Matty boy. Matty's like, you can't say that.
I think what happened is his half brothers both got eaten by sharks.
There's more,
and his sister was stabbed by
a shark.
By sharks.
A shark. Fucking. This is the craziest shit. Put your goddamn mic away. I'm talking to a headliner here. There's no time. What is this fucking? All right, then I'll bring you back up, and then I'll do 5 minutes to bring up the headliner. So a shark stabs his sister.
Sure.
The whole family. His parents ran a grocery store, robbed by sharks.
Same sharks?
Different, completely unrelated.
Totally unrelated sharks. They didn't even know each other?
No, no sharks. Sharks don't know each other. That's the thing. They're like lone wolves, but the sharks are lone sharks.
Well, they network a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. There's an app. They have an app. Yeah. The shark networking. So basically his whole, all right. When I say his whole family get eaten by sharks, I mean more than a member of his family.
Even one is a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's like 3 or 4 people and the sister got stabbed by one is crazy. Did you ever see that movie where the sharks rape people in the Holocaust?
I'm writing that movie right now. Has that already been done?
Yeah, no, I go to the future, I come back. Not in the movie, in real life. So me and Attell can't believe this happened. I made this way too long, but we got sidetracked with fucking fact-checking McGee over here. at read through in Lauren's office. They go, Kelsey, is there any jokes that you'd like us to tell? And and he goes, I've always wanted to play a Bond villain. And we're all like, oh, all right. So like everyone hands in a Bond villain sketch, and read through is 3 hours long. You're gonna wind up hosting SNL. It's 3 hours, and it's long as fuck, and it's brutal. There were 14 sketches where he played a Bond villain, 12 of which ended with him getting eaten by a shark because nobody read the bios. And me and Dave Attell, it was like we were crying. Like when you laugh and you go, if I don't stop laughing, I'm going to have to go to the emergency room and explain to them it's just from laughing.
Yeah.
We were crying, and like people wrote, like Dave Mandel, great writers like Dave Mandel and Steve Coren, and they're writing Ian Maxtone Graham, and the jokes are like, not again. like, how do you end a shark sketch? It's a Bond villain that is eaten by a shark. Like, oh, haven't you again? Ding dong. Like then they're tying land shark into it, and that brings the sister back because that's how it happened with her.
Yeah,
she just fucking answered the door. It's terrible.
That's awesome.
Like that girl from Raging Bull, she got cut up by a shark.
I heard. I actually, when I got my job on Fallon, Esty at the Comedy Cellar says, "Well, it was nice knowing you. You could have been a great comic." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, you'll never do stand up again because you got this job." She talked about different guys who had been good stand ups, and
they say they come back, but they never come back.
Exactly. I love Mike Sweeney, but Mike Sweeney you never see again. And so I was like, "Well, who has done it? Who has got a writing job?" She said, "Well, Dave Attell and Colin Quinn both had writing jobs, but still stuck with it because they're crazy. They had to do stand up." So I went to both of them individually.
With Colin, you put stand up in quotes.
I put a lot of things in quotes with Colin.
He's the best.
Oh, he's one of my favorites.
Well, it's not all verse, chorus, verse. Maybe because my rhyme scheme is a bit of a dog whistle.
But they both said the same thing to me. They said it was easy. I said, how do you get a writing job and still keep doing stand and be good at stand up? And they said it was easy. You're just bad at your job. You're just bad at your writing job. And Attell was like, I couldn't have been worse at SNL. I thought they were. I think they did fire him after a year, didn't they? Or did he leave? It's
always mutual. I mean, you got to be like, I think Damon Wayans got fired. Like Ben Stiller just tapped out. Like, this isn't for me. Fucking, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But to get fired's a strong word because it's year to year, and they just decide not to bring you back. So whatever. Like even getting fired is ambiguous there.
Yeah.
That's how bizarre it is. Like, did you get fired or did you quit? You're like, I'm not sure. They extended me. I said that like Rob Schneider, man. Come on. What are you fucking baby about it? So what?
Well, no one gets fired there because they're not funny. They just get fired because it doesn't really work with whatever they're trying to do at the time. So it doesn't make it be that bad to get fired from SNL. And the people who've gotten fired from SNL is a great list.
Yeah.
And
some guys they just let go, like Will Parnell. I'm like, how the fuck do you let Will Parnell?
Chris Parnell. Yeah.
Chris Parnell. How do you let him go? He's your next Phil Hartman.
Exactly. I loved. He was one of my favorite people ever on SNL.
He's the glue.
Yeah.
And they let him go, but whatever.
They let him go, and they brought him back like mid-season.
Oh, I didn't know.
Kept him around for like a year or so, and then let him go again.
I love Hader. I like a lot of the guys that are up there now.
Yeah. Well, Hader's gone now too.
Yeah. Well, did he get the taste of the movies?
Yeah.
So season 2 of the Jeselnik Offensive, and you do it in New York or L.A.?
L.A. Do it here, Hollywood Center Studios.
I love the show. It's a great show, bro.
Oh, thanks,
and anybody out there, if you're going like, what the fuck happened to comedy? It's alive, and it's well, and it's I'm telling you, it's great. It's like,
thank you. That's
I
a huge
use this
compliment.
analogy all the time.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like the first time you heard Jane's Addiction, you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, it's new, bro.
Well, that's awesome,
It's
man.
just new, and you're the first guy doing it. Do you ever bump into Tosh?
Occasionally, we have the same manager, so I've run into him a few times.
You seem a little happier than he is.
Maybe. I don't know him that well to know how happy he is. I know he keeps things pretty close to the vest.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem...
His stand-up is always surprises the shit out of me at how funny it is.
Oh, it's great.
Like I'm
great stand-up.
I'll listen to him on the Comedy Channel on Sirius XM, and I'm like, who is? And it's Tosh.
Yeah.
Like crazy funny.
Yeah. He's awesome.
You, on the other hand,
I get by.
I go, give him some time. Did you know? I mean, but did you know going in when you're going to Comedy Central? Do you go? This is the show I want to do, or do they have every studio exec has ideas?
Sure, I knew I was pretty tied to Comedy Central. When I never wanted to have my own show. It was never like my dream. I thought I'll be a stand-up. If I could put out an album one day, that would be amazing. If I could do a roast, that would be great. So all my dreams I've kind of done. But I got that writing job on Fallon, and all I kept thinking of was how I would do it. How would I do this show? And it never occurred to me before to have it. I just wanted to be a writer. But once I realized that he would never do the kind of stuff I liked, I thought, well, now my show sounds more interesting. And I went to Comedy Central right after I left Fallon and said, here's what I want to do. And they said, that sounds a lot like Daily Show and Colbert. We're not looking for that. And then 2 years later, I'd done the roasts. And they're like, what do you want to do? And I said, same thing. And they said, all right, well, now that you're a name, we'll try that.
Only a network person would think that Jeselnik offensive is a little too much like The Daily Show. So they kind of just get out of your way. That's all you can ask for as a comic is autonomy.
Absolutely. But even it's so weird for me to have a boss at all that I still bristle, even when their notes are like, that was great. Why don't you make this a little shorter? I'm like, you think you're funnier than me? Yeah. It's going to be and they're usually right. And when you have offensive in the title of your show, they kind of have to leave you alone a little more. But sometimes they'll get annoyed. The note I get a lot is dark for the sake of being dark, which I don't mind. But it just has to be funny enough to hold the weight, I think, in their eyes.
Aaron Hernandez, that was big. The episode I saw.
That was a premiere. Yeah.
Did you see the Pouncey twins? The premiere seemed a little reserved.
Did it?
I felt like you were fucking chomping at the bit, and I thought Jimmy and Amy were just kind of playing nice.
I don't know. They have to edit so it's clean, so everyone gets their jokes out. I mean, we had a blast.
Jimmy,
the three of us.
That's as funny as it gets.
Yeah. Norm was amazing with some of those things. We have to cut out so much stuff that's great. We always call it killing babies to get to the stuff we had to air. But I mean, I don't know.
What do you call killing babies, though?
Life.
Editing.
Editing?
If editing is killing babies.
I said
that was a layup for you, bro.
What?
That was a layup for you.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry about it.
We'll cut this.
No, that stays. If you fuck up, I keep it in. What? So where's the press take you now?
I'm almost done now.
This is the Normandy invasion of press. I've been hip to what you've been doing, and Comedy Central apparently they're betting on you, bro.
Yeah, it seems that way. They've got their crew, and I never know how it's really going. The great thing about my show is that it's cheap. Is that it costs like a third of what it costs to make, or half of what it costs to make Workaholics or something. So if I just do well enough, I can kind of keep going, which interests me. What was the fucking question?
It doesn't matter. What is your dream? Like 10 years from now?
Just to
let me ask you that as Barry Katz.
Okay, please.
In a perfect world.
Who has a podcast now, by the way?
10 years from now. If everything you've done is sinking in the ocean, and you only have time to save one thing, and it could be anything you want. You could be Herb from accounting, a bag of African babinja weed, man. Anything you want to save, you can save. What's the one thing you go in and get, man?
Is this the actual question you're asking me? Because before it was what do you want to do, and now it's what would you save from a thing?
Bear with me.
You transformed before my eyes.
It's unbelievable, man. I'll tell you, if fucking Katz and Colin would get a little more famous, I'd have a new half hour.
All right. I don't know how I got dragged into being, a 15% commission manager. If you don't know it, Katz, CQ is off Broadway. I'm on Mott Street doing shows outside Umberto's Clam House.
What do you want to do? Like, do you want to have your own talk show like Fallon?
No, I don't know if I could.
I was gonna say
I don't think I could talk to an actor and be like, so what's the movie about? Like, I don't
cookbook from an actor.
Yeah,
cool.
I just don't have it in me. I just kind of want to do what's fun. I'll do the show as long as I can.
Well, gangbangs are fun, but they don't pay so great.
Sure, I mean, but if someone comes to you with a movie and they're like, hey, do you want to we got this movie? You're going to be the star. You're going to be the love interest. I'd be like, not for me. I'm not really a good actor.
You don't think that'd be fun?
It depends on
Rutger Hauer.
It depends on the role. Like, I would rather do like small roles that I could have fun with and do well. I'm a bad actor, which is what I'm saying. But I would love to do movies. Movies sound fun. Maybe a sitcom if it was like a cool sitcom. If I liked the character, or I liked the story, or what it was about, maybe I would jump in. But
seem a little like picky and choosy. Well,
why not? I mean, I just want to do what's fun. I can go do stand-up and
come at me with your best offer,
exactly.
Man.
You can't cancel me if you wanted to.
Get me a gangbang that pays $5 million a year, and Jeselnik's all signed up for that shit.
Absolutely.
Get him a van to Topanga Canyon. Go to Home Depot. Get yourself some Latino men. And just comb the countryside for guys willing to stand around and beat off in their socks.
I want to know when am I going to have you on my show?
I fucking didn't want to bring it up because I thought I thought I'd be a real schnorr, man, if I brought it up.
I thought you were too big until you asked me to come on your podcast. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity.
I thought you were too big until I heard you on AM radio.
Nah, man, season 3.
What happened to season 2? How'd I get fucking
It's already booked.
Why can't I stop talking like him?
I would love you and Colin on the same episode. Would be
This seems a little inauthentic. This whole, I'll be honest with you. This is like, I thought you were going to ask me. Oh, no, you were going to ask me. Turns out nobody asked each other, and then neither one of them became president. They toiled away in the Senate until they both died of gonorrhea and syphilis. That's a true story. But, what are you going to do? Nobody knows that about Strom Thurmond. He was a ladies' man. He had jungle.
I was going to go on a fever run.
I felt that way.
But I realized I wasn't going to be able to keep my shit together or not get sued. No, I top priority. I would love to come. How many more episodes in season 2?
We're doing 8 this season. So
who's booked already for this season?
First episode, Schumer Norton. Second episode, Kumail Nanjiani and David Koechner. Next week, Adam Pally and Casey Wilson.
Now, I never heard of either one of these two comics. I'm sure they're very fine.
They're not really comics. Casey Wilson was on SNL. And they were both on.
Yet they're on the show before me.
They were both on Happy Endings. He was in Iron Man 3. I'm saying they're doing better than you.
You're going to put Pluto Nash against Iron Man 3? Fuck Pluto Nash. Pluto Nash smashes that shit, bro.
Who did we have? We got great not Jim Norton, Dave Attell and Joan Rivers on the same episode.
Boogly, yes.
That's gonna be fun.
Will someone help her? Joan Rivers and I wish it was Melissa Joan Hart.
That would be
and Dave Attell.
That would be such a get.
In the same. Did you guys already film it?
Ruin her. No, that's later on. We've only filmed 2 episodes so far.
All right,
but we
in Hollywood Center Studios.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good spot. That's nice and easy. Easily located. Good food. Good Starbucks. It sounds like I'm making a joke, but it's not. I've worked there and it's fun. All right. I'm in for season 3 because I love the fucking show.
Awesome.
Don't do anything stupid and get canceled and fuck up my shot.
Okay. I promise.
Being on the show.
I promise.
Because I got one shot to be completely disgusting on television, and you're it. You're my portal into saying things I can never get away with. And you know what I should do? I should, every time I say something really offensive, just look out and go, what?
Too soon?
What? FDR's legs? Come on. Jeselnik, Offensive, Season 2, right now is playing, and I believe it's on Comedy Central, at Anthony Jeselnik.
Tuesdays at 10:30 after Drunk History.
All right.
I'm gonna finish the plug for you.
You do it. We are sorry. He's got to get home and reenact all of his scenes from Annie Hall.
People tell you look like a young Walken?
I hear I sound like a young Walken a lot.
You sound nothing like Walken.
Really? People say I'll have pauses in my sentences, and my act especially. But my whole family gets it.
Yeah, I can see that actually. Now that you say it,
yeah,
you do the show in a big theater when you could really milk the pauses and stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun way to tell jokes with the walk because you can kind of hide the punchline a little better.
Of course. He's a good guy. He's fun. You should have him on. Would you ever do a Jeselnik Offensive for like actors?
We talked about having like an actor and a comedian on at the same time because you never know when an actor is going to shit the bed. You know, sometimes they can't tell jokes. They don't come. Yeah.
It's like athletes hosting SNL. Like ladies and gentlemen, Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Fucking 80 crickets later.
Yeah,
you go to commercial.
The only laugh he gets is when they put him in a dress. They will put every athlete in a dress. They love it.
They have to.
Yeah,
especially Deion Sanders and anybody like that.
Jeter. Yeah, totally.
Speaking in code. I think anything we say after this, one of us is going to get shut down, and it'll be me. I'll be the first guy to get a podcast pulled off iTunes for offensive content because I'm trying to impress you with offensive jokes. Charlie, much love, brother. Just yell something so I don't think you're imaginary. All right, there you go, buddy boy. Matty boy at the real. Hey, Matty, if you want to complain about the levels, which are usually pretty money lately.
Yeah, go for it.
Amanda Bynes. She'd be a good get.
Yeah.
That's his dream woman.
Really? Still?
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Hot for a while.
He just hopped on.
She just got on board?
She just got into shape.
She talked you into it?
Oh, no, she didn't have to.
She's like the after picture in Slim Fast to him. Like, oh, all right, now I see what you're working with. I like it.
I'm into her face transplant.
That she is the most. Is she batshit crazy or is she crazy like a fox?
Total meltdown. Total, like, it's scary. It's worse than Lohan.
That's the best time to walk right into it. It's meltdown mode.
Bruce Smirnoff. Do you remember Bruce Smirnoff? Now he literally does cruise ships and he's happy, completely fresh. And your stand-up was a completely different angle.
Well, I hit the Comedy Cellar a couple years before the first roast. I did Trump first and then Sheen. So I would say Trump was my big break. But then, things just start building for you. And so you get to another level and things just kind of snowball. Like after I did Trump, it was like, oh, you were great on that roast. After I did Sheen, it was like, oh, you're great on the roasts. In people's minds, you've just been on all of them at that point, once you've done 2. So that really helped.
It's almost like after you do 2, who did I just have this conversation with? You do 1, everybody goes, holy shit, that guy's good. And then you do the next one, and they're counting on you to be good. Then you got to tap out. It's like gambling.
Yeah, people, they have like a 3 roast contract people get. Like Whitney Cummings did that. She did 3 and then she was done because she got her she got her talk shows and stuff that she couldn't come on a roast because she said she's like a bully now because she's doing too well. That I've done my 3. But now that I'm kind of locked in with Comedy Central, I think I've got some more ahead of me.
But it's funny because the perception of us as comics, like apparently I'm just like this walking fucking douche. Like I'm sure my reputation's preceded me. And like you said, like Whitney gets perceived as a bully. And what I dug about you is I'd never seen a guy, there's that age-old argument or discussion is like, do you act like you're below the audience? Like, hey, what a day. It's crazy out there. My Easy Pass doesn't work. Yeah. Or you like Seinfeld's a little above the audience. Like he even actually holds his nose up. Like physically, I don't know if he's conscious of it.
Yeah.
And you were the first guy to come in and just smash people. I remember the moment I fell madly in love with Anthony Jeselnik, comic. I went to take a piss at the Comedy Cellar. I'm upstairs at the Olive Tree with like Norton, Quinn, like the usual assholes that we sit up there with. And I come downstairs to take a piss, and as I leave, you went on stage when I was in the bathroom. And it's like, you did 4 minutes maybe, and you go, I wasn't always a comic. I used to be just a regular piece of shit just like you people. And I was 6 steps up out of the showroom when you said it. And it like hit me in the back like somebody threw cold water on me. Like, whoa, that's new.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's like hearing the Ramones for the first time. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, he just called them pieces of shit. Not a heckler. Like, the whole thing is, I'm fucking great, and you guys are just whack. Look at yourselves.
Yeah,
I dig it.
That's the kind of thing. If it works, if they laugh at that, it's great. If they don't, there's no getting them back after that.
You must be amazing to watch bomb.
It is. It's really a sight to behold because I have nowhere to go. I
keeps reaching back into the bucket and like helping people up.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
People still talk shit about the guy.
Yeah, it is weird. He's the only stand-up in late night. Letterman kind of was a stand-up, but he's not a stand-up, and he doesn't get sets anymore. He doesn't know. Letterman couldn't tell you any comics' names at all, except the people who were on his show. There's only like 4 guys a year, but Leno likes having cool new comics come on the show.
And he I don't think people realize how rare it is for like a guy Leno's stature to come and just sit on your couch. He doesn't come in and go, have a great show and leave. He like sits down where you start going, am I supposed to do something?
Yeah.
He's been in here a long time.
Yeah.
You hear the band warming up and he's still in his fucking denim shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, bro, I think you wear a suit when you do this.
Yeah.
You might want to skidoo.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes before the show started. He was in the denim suit talking to me, and just like nothing was happening, everything was cool. He's a great guy, but I don't like those panel things. I'm used to going out and doing stand up, doing 5 minutes and killing and getting out of there, and no one's seeing it. But like being on panel last night on Leno, I'm just like trying to remember stories, and I feel weird like having these planned things and trying to be organic, but I'm not at all. Right. So I'm still kind of getting my feet in that kind of thing. 'Cause I'm a one-liner guy. If I'm telling one-liners, I don't know how a story goes. I talk for too long without getting a laugh, and I start sweating.
Are you locked into this? Like, I'm better than everybody. Like, what are we going to see? Like in 10 years, like the acoustic Jeselnik. Like, I'm dialing it back. I'm just like you guys, man.
I don't know. After I did my first album, I thought maybe I would like to, just to open it up a little more and get longer bits in there, and kind of change things up. But to me, the challenge is going back and doing it again. Yeah. Like I thought getting an hour of one-liners, like how is that possible? And then I did it. Like, can I do it again? And now I'm trying to do it for the 3rd time, and it's just you have to go a little deeper and be a little smarter, which that's the challenge.
True story. Trying to figure out what to name my special, which eventually got named Funny for a Girl. My wife says to me, you should call your special Shakespeare or Not Exactly Shakespeare or Doing Shakespeare and Curing Cancer or Caligula.
Really?
My hand on my son's eyes, my wife named both your albums.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Fucking crazy.
How long ago was this?
Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Right, like a month before Shakespeare came out. So maybe she was combing the internet and just found good titles.
Probably.
And lifting them.
Yeah.
She keeps telling me I should start my own record company and call it Swan Song.
Swan Song.
I'm not so sure about that.
Hey, Phoenix. What is up? September 19th, I'm going to be there. I love you guys. I love Phoenix. You know why? Because when I'm at Stand Up Live, September 19th, I know it's going to be full. That's why, Phoenix, you are better than other towns. Because when I get to your town, you fill it up. Stand Up Live. Come see me, Jay Mohr, at Stand Up Live, September 19th. All my shows are meet and greets. I'll be selling more of your t-shirts, Mohr Stories podcast t-shirts. I'll shake your hand. We'll have a photo. We'll hug. You want to hug? You want to make a pyramid? We can make a pyramid. I'll be on the bottom. I don't care. Come see me do stand-up comedy, Phoenix, September 19th, 20th, I think 21st. Whatever. Just get your tickets. Fill it up. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know that you're going. At JayMohr37. Now enjoy this free podcast.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
If you want a battle, it's either that you will or you won't. You know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
How many interviews have you done in the last 72 hours?
God, 72.
It's Anthony, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I would say 72 hasn't been that bad. It was,
Like
it was mostly
2 weeks.
last 2 weeks. Oh, 50.
I didn't even know who you were until the roast, I think. One of the roasts.
Which
when
one,
Patrice was shitting on you.
Oh, the Sheen
like,
roast.
you just some medieval times waiter.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
But what I liked about you is you're from Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh. PNC Park. Prettiest park I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
And I've been to like 6 parks. But you, I guess if anybody like came out of nowhere, you can make a case for you coming out of nowhere. But is that the typical like everybody calls me an overnight success? I put in my fucking time. But like by the time you hit the Comedy Cellar, it was completely new. I'm just kidding.
I have to still be cocky. I have to still pretend I'm killing because my whole persona is based on that I'm the best.
Yeah.
So if I'm bombing, I just have to like eat it, but still pretend like I'm doing well. Like you know, Darren the party starter. I once opened for him where he bombed, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life because he still has to keep doing like the party starter in between jokes, and he was just eating it. It was hilarious.
Red Johnny and the Round Guy was a comedy team that did a lot of rap songs, and like watching them bomb was something incredible because it was like boop boop boop, living check to check, boo, and like beatboxing and shit, and they were like phenomenally talented, but for some reason just people weren't into it. You're locked in like we're going to rap for 20 minutes, and we're gonna do segues and fake commercials. I think Alonzo Hamburger Jones would probably be really good.
I'm sure.
Hamburger, this ain't going as I planned. But you don't really bomb anymore because now
people know who I am. Yeah. So it's occasionally like if I do a drop-in set somewhere, you know, if I do the Comedy Cellar now, you know, it's not everyone's not there to see me. Sometimes I don't bomb, but it's not as much fun as it is when 1,000 people are there just to see me be an asshole. You know, that's a lot more fun for me. If they don't know what they're getting, it can be a mixed bag.
We had to cancel on you because I was sick as balls. So just thanks for redoing this.
No, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to meet you. I've always been a big fan of yours.
And I'm a fan of yours. And it's just all of a sudden there's a new comic. And now that we're done washing each other's balls. Did you write on Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, for the first year.
You did the Tonight Show last night. When we recorded this, you did the Tonight Show last night. Yeah. I love doing the Tonight Show. And I find it to be really, everybody backstage is super fun. And Leno, everybody takes shots at the guy
I love Leno. Yeah.
It's like, you work as hard as that fucking guy works.
Exactly. You know, he's
He
great
did
at what he
this
does.
podcast. He didn't have to do
Oh, he
the
did?
podcast. Yeah, he was like, yeah, come on by. I'll do whatever you want.
Well, he loves comedians. He loves being able to hang out, and I think being in that position on the Tonight Show kind of takes him above a lot of people. There's not a lot of people he can hang out with anymore.
Yeah.
But when he gets the chance, he really enjoys it. He's always been great to me.
My wife and I just had this discussion, like, comics used to always like pay homage to the guys ahead of you, and now it's like an art form to just talk shit about people that are more successful than you.
Yeah.
Like, you're a marked man now.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
like everybody, and there's alt guys, no matter how famous they get, like no one's ever going to take shots at Patton Oswalt. Like he's like a sacred cow. Maron, no one's really going to take a shot at Maron because he takes himself down. But you're right, and like Whitney's get perceived as a bully. But like Leno's like the only guy that's still.
That sounds like a negative name to name your.
I worked for Led Zeppelin.
That's true.
I thought you were dialed into that world, man.
That's
You
true.
a rock guy?
Yeah.
Did you? Are you into wrestling? Somebody tweeted me like he likes wrestling. It'll be great.
I liked old school. Like
Yeah.
I loved a big influence on me when people were like, how'd you get your persona? A lot of it was the old bad guy wrestlers, like Razor Ramon going into Madison Square Garden, just grabbing the mic and be like, New York City is the worst city in the world, and they would all boo the shit out of him. I thought that's hilarious that he's doing that.
You're the Iron Sheik of comedy.
Yeah,
without pissing your pants.
A little bit.
Iran, number one.
His
Bob
Twitter.
Backlund, make him humble.
I still don't believe his Twitter is his Twitter.
No, it can't be him. He can barely talk.
Yeah. There's no way.
Who the bad guys I loved was like Rowdy Piper when he was a heel was like the greatest of all time.
He was really funny, yeah.
because he really didn't have like crazy muscles.
Yeah.
Like he just wore a kilt and he was just crazy.
Yeah, his thing was
Like-
he was crazy.
Like just watch out, just don't touch his face, man. He's fucking crazy. And then I remember like the dearth of big men like there is in the NBA. Like there's just no good 7-footers, no good heavyweight fighters. It was Andre the Giant, and like the biggest guy was like 6'6", 240, 250, and they listed him high.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Snooker, they said was 250. In hindsight, you're like,
No way.
Like Tony Geary, the New Zealand superstar. But then all of a sudden, Big John Studd, remember him?
Yeah.
6'10".
Yeah.
Steps over the top rope, and you go, hold on now. Somebody might beat the shit out of Andre the Giant. Now we got a real thing going.
Yeah, Big
real
John Studd was
to me.
awesome. Yeah, I used to go to like Wheeling, West Virginia to see WWF fights as a kid, and the audience was just as entertaining because they would refuse to believe that it was fake. And they
Wasn't
were
there a time in your
hilarious.
life when you thought it was real? I thought it was real.
Very early on, I remember going to my parents and like I was watching wrestling downstairs, and
Didn't
these two
you
guys.
live with your parents?
Yeah, I live with my parents, but I was downstairs watching TV. and
As a kid, I used to go to my parents' house.
I was downstairs watching it, and like a fight. There was an interview, and the fight broke out during the interview, and I ran upstairs like they were doing an interview in this thing, and like it's fake. You shouldn't be watching. It's garbage, and it's fake.
Like
I
no,
was like,
even Mean Gene Okerlund got hit.
I was like, how can these
Macho Man
adults?
Randy Savage said his mustache was crooked. Yeah. You don't go to the post office, do you?
No, I don't. I don't have
It's
time for
terrible.
that.
You don't have time for it. That's why everybody has to use stamps.com. Make the most of your workday. It's important to eliminate unnecessary tasks.
That
If you're
sounds
going to
great.
write an hour of one-liners, we're going to be standing in line at the post office. That's like 3 one-liners about the post office. You're better off at home imagining the post office.
Yeah.
Right?